So let's go this way. Across here. Now, most likely or not, you're gonna need at best 2 keys in order to access it. Are you releasing me? Am I free to go? Here's a secret for saving me. A wall that you can destroy with Goron's special crop will sound different than a regular wall if you hit it with your sword. Interesting. We'll definitely try it out. You found a small key. This key will open a locked door, and you can use it only in the dungeon. Oh. Duh. Why did I read the dialogue box? I have no idea. Moving on to, of course, the next room. We're gonna need to play the Song of Time, of course. Once you play the Song of Time, you'll summon a Song of Time block down here. Obviously, use it to climb up and access the next room. I'm gonna use my Jedi skills. Ow. Whoa, what the heck? Yeah, that's right. Your big knife will break. And therefore, the attack radius is as of Child Link. But yeah, that's basically the last we're going to be using this sword. You can still try to kill with this sword, but it's not going to be dealing too much. Again, 2 jump attacks could take out this guy, no big issue. Getting a lot of that. Piss poor range, and the amount of damage, of course, is basically as Child Link. It's Kokiri sword, if you'd like to call it that way. But yeah, word advice, never buy a giant's knife from a guy who has that spends you a fee of 200 rubies. That is a huge scam, and you're not going to use it too much. It will break over time, and that such probably ends up this video with this lesson. Never use the giant's knife. There is a better alternative, but we will talk more about that later in the future. So, let's go ahead and then continue down. Alright, moving on to the next part. Here we go. If you have the Goron tunic, you can actually walk on a lava for only a few seconds. However, eventually the heat will get to you, and now you're gonna have to utilize, like, to stay above platforms to stay alive. But anyway, so here's the point of advice that the Goron, dang it. I was trying to take out this key. Is he still coming? No, he's not. But if you hit this wall right here, it makes a completely different noise compared to what we hit there. So as such, I recommend that you basically go ahead and grab a bomb. You go ahead and blow this up. And yeah, that opens that up. Rescue another Goron. Are you releasing me? Am I free to go? I'll tell you a secret for saving me. There is switches in the temple that you have to cut to activate, but you can also use Goron's special crop to do the job. Excuse me. And we'll of course get another small key. So, while we're going to make progress in the next room, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of trivia. So, I'm currently playing on version 1.0. This is the very first version of the game, and like, even, like, later down the road when you find, like, Ocarina of Time on an actual cartridge on Nintendo 64, you're probably not going to get this version. You're most likely going to get an updated version that changed something about this dungeon. And that dungeon, well, a few things was changed in between, of course, the, between 1.0 and, also later versions down the road. And one of which is basically the music used in this dungeon. You see, the problem is, like, Nintendo is basically trying to make sure that, kids are not gonna be scarred to life, of course, with the atmosphere of this game already. So a few things have been changed. One of them, of course, is, like, the symbols that are on certain blocks. Not this block, but we'll talk more about that when we get to it, because I think we're about to approach it right about now, so it's actually up there. But yeah, this symbol that is on this block, instead of it being a moon-shaped, it's sort of like one of those ruby symbols. I'll show you what it looks like on your screen right now. And the same happens to, like, a certain object that we don't currently have yet, but we'll talk more about that later. But, another thing that's changed, and it's in this dungeon, I'm gonna kill these enemies so that way the enemy music doesn't get in the way, is basically the Muslim chanting. There's Muslim chanting that was in this dungeon, and right now, I'm gonna be silent for a few seconds. I'm gonna let you hear it. So yeah, that right there is a Muslim chanting, and in later versions of the game, they actually changed the music to incorporate, basically they took a certain sound font from, like, a layer dungeon that has, like, a much better sound quality. And the reason why, I guess, the reason why they took this music out from the current build of the game is so that way they don't want to frighten children. This Muslim chanting sounds very ancient for, I guess, like, Indian culture. Although, this gives us some sort of a feel of life in Ocarina of Time, and, like, again, it's like Lucas, George Lucas, who changed the original trilogy. Like, making alterations, making the original look superior, and making the newer versions look like crap. And I honestly just don't understand that. But here is the version. Well, I'll do that in a second, but, over here, there's a wall here that is entirely made of, made this clink noise. Of course, you bomb this wall, and right here's a Skulltula. But yeah. So, anyways, back to the Muslim chanting. So here is, like, the version of the Muslim chanting that you would hear in the current build of course, here's the Muslim chanting that you'll be hearing in the current build of, like, the game. Well, okay, well, first and foremost, what the hell is going on here? This Goron has Ligma! Or C10. COVID. Get this Goron away from me. I'm gonna get this chest first. I'm not gonna talk to you. Oh, God! That's disgusting! What happened to you? Well, here's the main reason. I'm playing this on an emulator. That's probably why. Anyway, so when you're on fire, you can put it out by swinging your sword or rolling forward. Do you know that? Get out of here! Social distancing! Anyways, as I'm saying, here is the version that you're going to be hearing. Here's a version of the Muslim chanting that you hear in the current build of the game compared to, well, this early build that you're already hearing throughout this dungeon. Okay, anyways, I'll tell you a secret for saving me. In this temple, there are doors that fall down. When you try to open them, when one of these doors start to fall, move. You can use a simple special Goron crop, and you can break it. Okay, thanks, Goron. There's also more alterations done, and we'll explain these alterations as we progress further into this game, of course. But please note that I am playing pretty much the earliest version of the game. So, what you're probably seeing or hearing is not in, like, your current build of the game, probably on, like... I say the best way to get this version is to get the gold cartridge. I think the gold cartridge is probably the very first version, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so, enter this room, open up this treasure chest, and you get the dungeon map. So, now you'll be able to, see what's in this dungeon, of course. Oh, I did not mean to click out of that. Thank goodness. Also, do not fall here. You will backtrack if you do. But luckily, I do have a solution if I do fall down, so it won't be too bad. Let's go ahead and climb up here. And oh my god, it's a firewall. It's gonna be chasing us, so we gotta run it. We gotta leg it. Jump over that fire bubble. Then jump over this fire bubble, and then climb up here. Yeah, let's do this. Shut up, Navi. I know what you want me to do. You want me to blow this up. And I'm already ahead of you. Go down here, and that is when you'll be able to, of course, free this Goron from its prison, and the social distancing, man, social distancing. Oh, that's too close. Gosh darn it. Oh god, now Link has the C10. Somewhere in this temple, you're sure to meet up with this creature that dance around and attack. Arrows won't hurt them. Looks like you might need some of that special Goron crop. And that's all I'm gonna tell you. Leave! I do not want to be infected. Sorry, I did not mean to bring serious topics into this video. But let you know, I'm playing this on emulator, and I'm playing this on the pretty much very, and I mean very early version of this game. You're most likely not going to be dealing with these problems if you're actually playing this on actual console, or actual hardware. Climb up here. Take out these fire slugs, and that will, like, get rid of that. Figure I redirect myself because I don't trust my analog stick very much. And I'll go ahead and talk to you while I'm at it. tell you a secret for saving me. If you find a place that you can see on the map but can't reach, try playing your ocarina. Interesting advice. I'm gonna take this fire slug out with my arrows. Like that. And this is why they call it a platforming game. Alright, so I'm gonna show you guys another thing. Of course, man, I keep pushing down my D-pad thinking it's a randomizer when it really isn't. Anyway, so, you go ahead and play the Scarecrow song. You play the Scarecrow song here, and it will summon Pierre right up here, of course. And of course you gotta use your hook shot to get yourself up here. Now this room is entirely optional. You don't need to go this way. I'm only doing this for the 100% completion. Again, skip to this time frame if you want more plot progression, just to save you the trouble. But if those of you are 100%ing this game, definitely continue watching. So, when you go into this next room, this is where we come across, of course, a few things. One of which, of course, is a Skulltula that is right on the top of here. Of course, make sure you use your hook shot and get its token by either hookshotting it or just climbing up the wall. In this next room, of course, there's going to be another Skulltula right around this little corner here. Ah! And do not fall here either. That would be so bad. Anyway, so here's what we're gonna be doing next. This is a little bit of like a speedrun section. For this one, you gotta be really quick and get this treasure chest. It's really tight. I barely made it, right in the nick of time. And the reward is a huge ruby, worth 200 rubies. After you do that, it's safe to say they should fall down. Sure, you'll lose a few limbs, but it'll actually help you because it leads you to your next bit of direction where you need to go. So anyway, so now we're gonna go through this firewall again. Only this time we're gonna go a completely different direction. We're gonna go up there. Just like that. Open this door, and now you make a little more plot progression. That's fun. Now we enter this next room, of course. Now, before you do anything in this next room, we're gonna go this way, I think. Okay, well, not this way. This is like an invisible maze in some way, so you're really gonna have to, like, take your time here. Do not rush this, because if you do rush this, then you're gonna run into a lot of firewalls. But enter this next room, and this is where you get the dungeon compass. This will, of course, reveal where most of the chests are in the lobby. Well, not in the lobby, but in the dungeon. It will also tell you exactly where you should be going, of course. Well, most importantly, where